Last week, Dave Cowell really enthused and shared his vision over prayer and making sure that we have a 24/7 prayer happening within the church, literally over our move to our new building. And I just want to encourage people, because I know that this would be very daunting for some people, to spend a full hour in prayer. Some people will really struggle with that concept, and it is the concept that you'll struggle with more than the actual reality of what that means. For instance, let me give you some guidelines here that I think will help you, that are very practical. An hour of prayer is not an hour of talking. Some of us can't talk for more than 10 minutes. I'm not referring to myself, am I? But the reality is that some of us would find it very difficult to talk for 5 minutes or more, because we've said everything we really got to say in 5 minutes. So how do you keep praying for an hour? Well, what you don't do is keep talking. I've often said to people that God made us with one mouth and two ears, and that means that we need to spend a lot of time listening, and that's part of what prayer is about. For instance, this morning when I had my hour of prayer, it was a mixture of things. It was myself praying, if we can and we're able to. Praying in tongues is always very, very good. It's a great, valuable asset to have. But if you don't, that's another problem. Just pray, pray verbally, meditate, take time to think about what you're praying, think about the situation you're praying about, meditate about it. Read some scripture while you're praying, some relevant portions of scripture, maybe the Psalms, maybe the Proverbs. I used the Proverbs this morning. And then meditate a bit more. Then there's other things that will help you. If you're musical, you've got a guitar, you may like to worship the Lord a little bit while you're doing that, or worship the Lord without music, that's fine. Or just sing quietly to the Lord a song of worship. If you're not that way inclined, you might like to do something that I find very, very helpful, which is in actual fact to take a writing pad and to write down your thoughts as you're praying, thoughts of scripture, thoughts of where you are, thoughts of what God is saying at the moment. I know a lot of people believe that the building on Barton Dock Road is the building and there's no other building. I've never said that it's the only option that we have. It's the only option that we've been pursuing. That's not my line on it. I just know that God has a building, He has a home for us. That's what God has promised me. And God has promised me that He would not lead us down a dead end. God has promised me that He would not lead us down a cul-de-sac, but that there would be that God would make a way. That's something God's always promised me. And God has also promised me that the lot that we have is secure. No one can take it from us. And that the inheritance we have is secure, and it will be in a pleasant place. So please pray along those grounds. And if at the end of the day one door closes, we can be sure that another one will open. This is my conviction, and this is what I'm saying. Whether it's this building or another building, some people hem themselves in so tightly that they've got nowhere to go if things don't materialise the way we want them to, or the way we think God should do them. I've been around it long enough to know that that is a dangerous place to put yourself, because God does not think the way we think. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So I would just say, in my absence, I'd love to be with you just now, just helping to fill in some of the spaces. The prayer effort and the prayer initiative Dave has launched, I'm fully behind it, but please don't burden yourself with this. Make this a joy, not a burden. I don't want it to be a yoke of heaviness upon people's lives, but I do endorse it to have more prayer. And for myself this week, I found it a joy. And that hour, if you use many creative ways, innovative ways to talk to the Lord, to listen to the Lord, to use scripture, to use song, to use music, writing, drawing, whatever you need to do to focus your mind upon these prayer pointers, I think you'd be really, really blessed. I do. And I can tell you that this week already, God is really, really beginning to speak in marvellous ways. Pete wrote a song just recently, God will make a way where there is no way. And if he's ready, I think he might even play it this weekend for you. Even now, while I'm saying this, after this, and you'll all be laughing now because I'm putting him in a tight spot, but you know, sometimes we have to be in a tight spot, don't we? We're in one now as a church, but God has an answer for tight spots. The Red Sea, the River Jordan, the Jericho walls. God's always got an answer for a tight spot, an empty tomb. So come on, let's get a grip. We're going into Christmas, great harvest time. Let's really take hold of God. Let's believe God. God will come through for us. I don't know how, but He will. I know He will, and I know that you know He will as well underneath. And let's give God glory and give Him thanks, because He's going to come through for us in marvellous ways. God bless you. Keep praying. If you haven't